We've been told a fabricated commercial version about Cinco de Mayo. We've been sold a version that comes in a salt-rimmed glass, designed to make us forget. But 164 years ago, on a muddy hillside in Puebla, the impossible happened. A superpower was humbled by a group of farmers who had more faith than they had bullets. This isn't a story about a party. This is a story about Zulm, raw oppression, and the hidden bridge between indigenous resistance and a divine mandate to fight back. If you think you know Cinco de Mayo, you've only heard the noise. Now listen to the truth. The year is 1861. Mexico is gasping for air, bruised by the Reform War and drowning in foreign debt. The villages smell of ash, the people are starving, and the treasury is empty. When President Benito Juárez paused foreign debt payments to feed his nation, Napoleon III saw weakness. He dispatched the French army, the absolute juggernaut of the 19th century. They hadn't lost a major battle since Waterloo. They arrived with polished brass, rifled cannons, and the arrogance of an empire that believed the earth belonged to them. But the French didn't understand the soil they were stepping on. The indigenous people possessed what the ancient Mesoamericans called neltilistli, a profound, unshakable rootedness, a truth that anchors a person to the earth when a storm tries to rip them away. This was their Fitra, the pure, innate human nature created by God. Long before they ever heard the word Islam, they were living its principles. Surah An-Nisa, verse 75 asks, "And what is the matter with you that you fight not in the cause of Allah, and for the oppressed among men, women, and children?" To these people, submission to a foreign crown was a death worse than the grave. At the heart of this stood Benito Juárez, a Zapotec lawyer who rose from the soil to the presidency. He was the first indigenous head of state in the Americas, a direct challenge to European hierarchy. Juárez was the embodiment of Adl, or divine justice. He famously stated, "Among individuals, as among nations, respect for the rights of others is peace." This mirrors the Islamic principle that peace is the presence of justice. He didn't seek to conquer, he sought to preserve the sanctity of the home. While the French elite looked down on the peasant president, Juárez drew strength from his roots, a lineage of resilience dating back millennia. His leadership turned a political struggle into a defense of the indigenous soul. May 5, 1862. The French reached the hills of Puebla. Marching toward the city were 6,000 elite French soldiers, a fully equipped professional war machine. Facing this juggernaut was a ragged Mexican defense of barely 2,000 men. Under the overarching command of General Ignacio Zaragoza, the front lines were anchored not by professional legions, but by indigenous peasants, primarily the Zacapoaxtla and Xochiapulco, led into the fray by local commanders like Juan Francisco Lucas. They were drastically outnumbered, outgunned, and armed with little more than outdated muskets, farming machetes, and absolute devotion. They wore simple cotton shirts and huarachi sandals. By all metrics of war, it was a slaughter waiting to happen. Looking at this ragged line, General Ignacio Zaragoza rode his horse before them and delivered a final, piercing truth. He looked at his men and told them, "Your enemies are the first soldiers of the world, but you are the first sons of Mexico. They have come to tear your homeland from you. Soldiers, I read victory in your foreheads." And then the cannons fired. Yet, as the undefeated French charged through the mud, the Mexicans didn't retreat. They fought back with a ferocity that stunned the invaders. Here we see what Islam calls taqwa, God consciousness. Our ancestors didn't know the Arabic word, but they possessed the reality of it. They were already a people of God, fighting with a spiritual resolve that was always in their blood. Islam teaches that even in the fire of combat, you do not become the monster you fight. You fight to stop the oppressor, but you keep your humanity. Historical accounts suggest these forces fought for a righteous cause, defense, and to protect their homeland. Guided by Zaragoza's tactics and their own raw courage, they broke the French lines, proving that a small, conscious force can overcome a mighty army if their cause is just. The victory at Puebla was a stone thrown into a pond. By delaying the French, the Mexican resistance crippled Napoleon III's plans to aid the Confederacy in the U.S. Civil War. In a beautiful twist of fate, these indigenous farmers indirectly helped ensure the defeat of slavery in the North. This is the hidden bridge. The liberation of one people fuels the liberation of another. It shattered the myth of European invincibility and sent a message to every colonial power. The era of effortless conquest was over. Puebla didn't just save Mexico, it signaled a shift in global power, proving that sovereignty is a sacred thing that no amount of gunpowder can rightfully extinguish. Today, Cinco de Mayo is buried under commercial excess, but for those who know, it is a solemn reminder of the price of dignity. We must look past the fiesta and see the blood on the slopes of Puebla. Islam teaches us to honor those who stood against tyranny. When we celebrate, we should do so with shukr, gratitude, for those who refuse to bow to men of power. The true bridge of this day is the connection between 1862 and our own modern struggles for justice. If we celebrate without remembering the resistance, we are complicit in the erasure they fought against. Let us honor a victory that belongs to the oppressed of every nation.